guys? Welcome to the Purple Couch. Let's get serious. Today's video was very necessary because they're not teaching us this shit in high school, middle school, college. I mean, you learn this from a real estate agent if you hire one, but the reason I wanted to do it is because I've actually gone through the experience of buying a home. Was I ready? No. Did I know what I was doing? No. But did I learn? Absolutely. And so when you learn stuff, I believe that it's important that you share that knowledge, that you pass it forward, you pass it on, because I want you guys to know what you're doing when it comes time to purchasing your home. So I want to teach you 5 things that I learned along the process of buying my home that helped me and change the game. And before I knew it, my real estate agent was like, "RaqC, here's the key to your house." And I was like, what? Oh my God. Okay, so I actually thought long and hard before doing this video. It's taken me a while to say, you know what, RaqC, do it. Because I don't want to come off as like I'm bragging or I'm showing off at all. This is not the intention of this video. The intention of this video is to truly share my experience and what I've learned and how I became a homeowner, right? It was a dream of mine and I ended up getting a house. And I swear, the person that I was working with made it so easy for me to understand, but the experience of buying a home from beginning to end was so uncomfortable. It was scary. It was an invasion of privacy because, you know, they have to see your financial statements. Let's start with number 1. Save money for your down payment. Even if your credit score is amazing, you definitely want to save money for your down payment. To me, a good amount of money is $25,000. I gave $25,000 down for my down payment. So for about, I want to say intentionally, for about 2 years, I was on grind mode. I worked, I saved, I worked, I saved. And in 2 years, I came up with $25,000, you know, because I knew what I was trying to do. I knew that, yes, my credit score was great, but I also knew that, you know, my good looks were gonna get me a house. I knew that I needed to save money. So I had given myself $25,000 in my head. Now, can you get a house with less? Probably. Is it always better to give more of a down payment? Absolutely, because you're gonna end up financing less. So, first things first, save money for a down payment. I say $25,000 is the perfect amount. Number 2, make sure your FICO score is on point, okay? And this is a thing that a lot of people don't talk about. Yeah, we talk about credit, we talk about how good credit is important, but you guys, if you have a good credit score in the United States of America, you could literally, the doors will open up for you, right? Like, it's like a red carpet, whether you go buy a home, whether you buy a car, whether you're, you know, if you're trying to get financed, a good credit score is major key, you know? And I was able to truly like live this, right? So this is the thing about me. So I knew that I was preparing myself to buy a house. So what I did is I paid off all my credit cards, right? And I don't have that many, but I paid off all my department store credit cards. I paid off my credit cards that I had with banks, and I had all my credit cards on 0. So what I learned along this process is that when you have your credit cards at 0, it does nothing for your FICO score. Because when you add 0 to, let's just say your FICO score is 780 or 870, right? Add 0 to that. It stays at 870, so it's not making it go higher. And so what I thought I was doing the right thing, because I was like, I'm debt free, I'm ready to buy a house, I don't have any debt lingering over me. And so my loan officer ended up explaining to me that I had to actually go use my credit cards. He's like, RaqC, go use your Macy's card, go use your credit card, go use this, but don't go crazy on the balances either. But we need to see that you're using your credit because it's gonna boost your FICO score.
Oh my gosh, so you're meaning to tell me that all my credit cards on 0
does nothing good for me. It made me feel good that I didn't owe anybody money, but it does nothing for your FICO score. So that's one of the major things, one of the major things that I learned in buying my home is that your FICO score needs to be on point, but you also have to effectively be doing things monthly to make your FICO score go up higher and higher, because the higher that number, the better it is for you. Okay, number 3. Pay down your credit card balances. Not to zero, but don't go wild because you're so busy, right? Like saving money for a down payment for your home. So you're like, oh, well, you know what? Since I can't spend my cash, right? I can't really move all the money in my bank. So I'm gonna go crazy on my credit cards. No, it doesn't work that way. The balances on your credit card have to be low, significantly low. So for my dad, when I was young and I started getting credit cards, I remember hearing my dad, mijita, no te volvas loca con tus tarjetas de crédito. Like, escúchame, right? El que escucha el consejo llega viejo. And you know, when you're young, you're just like wilding out. And you don't realize how true that is until you buy a home, because you know, homes, especially in California, you're looking at more than $500,000, right? The truth, if you want to get a decent home in California, it might be cheaper like Texas, Arizona, all that, but I live in Cali. We live in Cali. Shout out to anybody that lives in Cali that owns a home. It's not cheap to own a home in California. So lower your credit card balances, like pay them down. Okay, so just as you're saving money, pay down your credit card balances. It's a sacrifice that you have to do in order to get that crib. So just think about it as like, okay, I'm gonna sacrifice myself for 3 years, but I'm gonna get to the final destination, and that final destination is your house. Number 4, discipline yourself. Put yourself on a budget, at least for 2 years, right? Sacrifice the dinners, maybe the lavish vacations, the things that you know that you go a little crazy when it comes to, doing these things, and you like to splurge, and you sacrifice, discipline, right? I had to do that for myself for 2 years because I had already mentally had told myself, oh my gosh, RaqC, you're making your landlord rich. I was renting a house, and I kept telling myself, this could be your house payment. And I kept telling myself, and what would motivate me is thinking to myself and actually understanding and knowing that I was putting money into somebody else's pocket. Truly, that's really what it is when you're renting, right? Not knocking my renters, because I've rented too, you guys, but what I'm saying is I was renting a house, and so I thought to myself, this could be money towards your home. What are you doing? And so I kept telling myself, you're making your landlord rich, save your money. You're making your landlord rich, save your money. You have to create certain dialogues in your mind to keep you motivated, right? Just like if you want to lose weight, there's certain things you tell yourself to get to that goal weight. So discipline yourself. Sacrifice. It's very, very possible. Don't go to Starbucks for an entire year, and whatever you would spend on Starbucks, put it in however you save your money. Put it in a mason jar, and just, you will be amazed at what can happen once you discipline yourself. And the payoff will be so amazing once you are in your house. You're gonna be like, gosh, you know what? I'm glad I listened to RaqC, because look at me now. I am putting money in my own damn pocket, right? So stop making your landlords rich and save your money. Discipline yourself. Make that sacrifice so that way you can feel so proud of yourself, and where you live can be yours. Number 5, don't be afraid, because that fear is what stops most from buying a home. The fear of the process, the fear of actually saying, you know what, like, I'm worthy of being a homeowner, right? Because we're not taught this. It's very sad to think, that we're not taught this growing up, right? Although, like, my parents own their home, but it's not like conversations that get brought up nowadays. Like, imagine if we talked about these type of things instead of like gossiping about somebody in the family or just focusing on things that are not important. Imagine bringing these type of conversations up around your kids, around your children, and saying, you know what? How about we start you a savings account for when you buy your home, you know, so you can buy a home later. Like, these are not the conversations that I grew up listening to, right? Because it was like adult talk. And it's just like, you know what? It's never too young to implement those seeds into kids, because they're gonna grow up thinking differently, right? And so that's my biggest takeaway from my entire experience of buying a home was I had to literally put the fear that I was feeling in a box, because before I bought my house, I actually was gonna buy a condo you know, just like, kind of like when I had first started on LA radio in 2005. I literally, my girl was a real estate agent. I had found this condo by this college. I literally was approved, had the money. She comes through, she has a big old stack of papers. That's another scary part of this whole home buying process, the stack of papers. You feel like you're spending your life away. You're like, oh my God, like another one and another one and another one. So when I saw that stack of papers, I was like, Liz, I froze. I froze because I felt so afraid. And gosh, how I wish I would not have let that fear take over me, because I would have several properties right now, you know? But it is what it is. Time and life plays out exactly how it needs to play out. And here I am, right? At least I could say that I've had my home for 5 years, going on 6 years. But fear could truly paralyze you, or it can motivate you. And I was able to put my fear in a box. I wasn't really talking to a lot of people about what I was trying to do. I just knew that in my mind, my end goal was to have my own house by a certain age. And so I made my moves. I made sacrifices. I wasn't really traveling. I wasn't really eating out. I think that's when I got the love of like eating home. You know, I was just like, hey, I'm a good cook. Like, let me just eat at home. And then you realize that anything is possible. And then guess what, you guys? Your mortgage ends up being like, the way you get comfortable paying rent is the way you get comfortable paying your mortgage. It becomes second nature, except the home is yours. And so the feeling that you get when you walk into a home and you are given the keys, and it's like, welcome to home ownership. It's a feeling that I cannot describe. And especially for people that do it alone. Like, I am sure that when I do it with my husband, when I meet my husband and we get married, it's gonna be an amazing feeling too, right? But to be able to truly buy a home with your own sacrifice, with your own credit, with your own money, and be the only person on that title of the home is such a feeling that nobody could take that away from you. Nobody. So I suggest that before you go buy a home with your husband, buy your own property, or your wife, have your own, because the day I get married, I'm probably gonna make my home a rental property, so that way I have my own, you know, little stash and my own little property for myself. But it is such a good feeling, and I highly recommend it to everybody. Stop being afraid, okay? Let this video be a sign and a message to you, like, you know what, if RaqC could do it, so can I. I did it by myself, you guys, with the help of God and with the help of my hustle. You guys, this is why I wore this necklace. Hustle. Because you're not gonna do it by being cute and like, you know, flipping your eyelashes. You gotta work. So I hope you guys love this video. I hope you guys, you know, took many things away from it. Set a date for yourself. Like, by this date, this year, I wanna own my house. Set realistic goals for yourself, right? In 1 year, I wanna save $12,000. It's possible. I hope you guys love this video. Drop a comment down below. If you're a homeowner, let me know that you're a homeowner. If you're thinking about buying a home, let me know. I could recommend you guys to some great people that can help you guys, but just don't be afraid. Balls to the wall, baby. You got one life. So get everything you desire. Manifest it. I love you guys. Mwah! Goodbye to all my future homeowners.